Video number 2. Strategic direction. Any connection to your QMS? Hello everyone, thank you for watching this video that will give you an idea about how strategic orientation is important to define the characteristics or priorities of a quality management system. My name is Carlos Pereira de Cruz, my background is chemical engineering, and after 8 years in working in the industry, I started a career of almost 25 years as a consultant, trainer, and auditor around ISO 9001 and ISO 14001. Later, I developed a special interest in the balance scorecard that I frequently use a lot together with ISO 9001. We believe that most of the quality management systems that we see have no connection with the strategic direction of the organization. But if strategic direction is fundamental for the success of organizations, then most quality management systems are not aligned with strategy. And if they are not aligned with strategy, their real contribution to business results is very poor or even dangerous. With this presentation, I want to show how different strategic directions imply different priorities and concerns in a business-aligned quality management system. This presentation will also connect strategic direction with the topic of the part 1 of this series, the process approach. Strategic direction. How does the strategic direction of your organization influences your QMS? ISO 9001-2015 mentions strategic direction in clauses 4.1 about the context, 5.1.1b about management leadership, 5.2.1a about quality policy, and 9.3.1 about management review. So, how does the strategic direction of your organization influences or frames your quality management system? ISO 9000-2015 defines strategy as plan to achieve a long-term or overall objective. Okay, what kind of overall objective are we talking about here? Also, ISO 9000-2015 defines policy as intentions and direction of an organization as formally expressed by its top management. Well, still not very helpful. If we think on an abstract ladder, we can relate the terms this way. Overall objectives provide a framework for setting the strategy. What is the purpose of the organization? What does the organization do very well? Who will our organization serve? Strategy provides a framework for setting the quality policy. In what should our organization be very good? And quality policy provides a framework for setting the quality objectives. How will we monitor and know if we are having success? Again, how does the strategic direction of your organization influences or frames your quality management system? Why is strategy so important? Let us focus our attention on strategy and why is strategy so important. This figure identifies several industries in the base. For each industry, during the period 2001-2011, it shows the compound annual growth in total shareholder returns. It shows the higher value, the lower value, and the average value for each industry. The author of the book, If You're in a Dogfight, Become a Cat, Strategies for Long-Term Growth, makes an important statement. The variance in business performance within a given industry is considerably higher than the variance in the average performance across industries. In other words, there are individual star performers in every industry, regardless of the performance level of an industry as a whole. So, consider a particular industry like, for example, building products or auto components. Same economic sector, same country, same rules and legislation, same people and culture. What is different? Something inside the organizations, their strategy. What is an organization's strategy? Strategy is different from vision, mission, goals, priorities, and plans. It is the result of choices leaders make on where to play and how to win to maximize long-term value. Where to play specifies the target market in terms of the customers and the needs to be served. How to win spells out the value proposition that will distinguish a business in the eyes of its target customers, along with the capabilities that will give it an essential advantage in delivering that value proposition. Does your quality management system work with target customers and competitive advantage? Does your organization's quality policy has any relationship with its value proposition? Strategy is not free. Each strategy has different requirements and different constraints. Strategy is path dependent. Choices and experience from the past limit present choices about the future, limit the field of possibilities. The future does not depend only on the current situation. Organizations are a strong function of their past, of their history. Why do I say this here? To stress that organizations cannot simply forget their past and formulate a strategy with complete freedom. Many organizations believe that they can be everything to everybody, believe that they can be good at selling both meat and fish at the same time. That is not true, or at least that is increasingly not true or increasingly difficult. In August 2008, I found this phrase and never forgot it. The most important orders are the ones to which a company says no. It isn't saying no because the customer is dishonest or pays too late or is a bad person. No. No means that some orders from honest customers bring problems because they are not aligned with an organization's processes and experience. Without a no, there are no limits, no boundaries, no focus, no excellence. The no mark the boundaries by declaring the segments of a market in which a company decides it does not wish to compete. Without this level of clarity, all orders are deemed to be equally attractive. And by definition that cannot be. But without the mechanism for knowing how to judge, appropriate decisions cannot be made. This figure is taken from an article called Using Product Profiling to Illustrate Manufacturing Marketing Misalignment by Terry Hill, Rafael Menda, and David Dilts, and published in July 1998. One can look into an organization and evaluate its products and markets, its manufacturing structure, and its infrastructure. For example, about the products and markets, organizations can have a wide or narrow product ranges, high or low rate of new product introductions, high or low frequency of schedule changes, and different order winners, different most relevant topics at the eyes of certain groups, certain segments of customers. For example, for manufacturing, organizations can have small or large production run sizes, high or low setup frequencies, low or high setup costs. For example, for infrastructure, organizations may be designed to new product introductions or for process improvements to improve efficiency. Manufacturing managers' tasks may be dedicated to schedules or to quantity. Let us see two examples. The Blue Company is a company that bets on innovation. They have a wide range of products. They have a high rate of new product introduction. They are flexible enough to accommodate and thrive in the middle of a high frequency of schedule changes. And customers love the innovative products and the brand. And their manufacturing is aligned with being able to run small production sizes, handle a high frequency of setups, and their setup cost is low. Infrastructure is aligned with product introductions and meeting schedules. On the other side, one can think about a green company, a company that bets on cost to compete on price, on low cost to compete on price. They have a narrow range of products. They have a low rate of new product introductions. A new product introduction is an headache, is more entropy. They try to minimize the frequency of schedule changes. That reduces throughput, that reduces efficiency. And customers love their low prices. Their manufacturing is aligned by being able to run large production sizes without stop. They minimize setups and their cost is high. Infrastructure is aligned with efficiency and process improvements process in and throughput. Different organizations, different strategies, different processes, different mindsets. Now consider the example of a third company, a company that has a weak or unclear strategy, a company not aligned. They have a wide range of products, an average rate of new product introduction, an average frequency of schedule changes, and their order winners are based on price. Things don't fit nicely together. They run small to average production run sizes and average setup frequency and cost. Their mind is in searching for efficiency, but at the same time they look to meet schedules, to satisfy different customers looking for different products in small quantities. Well, this company is a mess. It is stuck in the middle trying to serve everybody and fighting with conflicting priorities. Remember an important message from the first video in this series. Different strategies require different objectives, and different objectives require different processes. For example, consider a process called develop new product, existing at the blue organization and at the green organization. Do you think that each organization should have the same activities, the same rules, the same priorities in that process? Same for the process called run production, is existing at the blue organization and at the green organization. Do you think that each organization should have the same activities, the same rules, the same priorities? Different strategies require different process characteristics, different cultures, different competencies, and different performance indicators. I always remember an article that I read in 2005 about the market polarization and the dangers of being stuck in the middle. The magazine, the McKinsey Quarterly, number 4 from 2005, presented an interesting article, The Vanishing Middle Market, with 3 eloquent exhibits. The authors studied 25 industries or product categories, 10 in Europe, 9 in North America, and 6 at global level, and they found that growth occurred both at high-end or low-end, where the specialists are. Organizations competing in the middle lost revenue, lost competitiveness. The authors spoke about what they called the market polarization. Some industries were where the top trend was a migration for the high end, like MP3 players, razors, coffee machines, digital cameras, and other industries where the migration was for the low cost, such as grocery retail in Germany, servers, global, airlines in North America, and some industries where the migration was to both extremes at the same time, the balanced polarization group. So, apparel in Germany, banking in Germany, built in refrigerators in Europe, refrigerators in the United States, beer in Europe. So, the third exhibit was with a particular example of that growing polarization, the example of the European refrigerator industry. Growth in units and in revenue occurred in the extremes, higher than 900 euros or lower than 150 euros. Those organizations competing in the middle without any competitive differentiation had negative performance. We are entering an economic world where niches abound and people no longer want to be treated like plankton, like homogeneous atoms, like anonymous mass. That is the message of a marketing guru called Seth Godin, who wrote a great book called We Are All Weird, from which I took the following images. Seth wrote, Mass is about the center, the big, fat, juicy, addressable center. Governments and marketeers and teachers have organized around servicing and profiting from mass. And now the center is melting. Okay, the distribution of a population is often shaped like a bell curve. In 1955, the distribution of behaviors was tightly grouped. The 21st century paradigm is this one: produce large quantities of homogeneous product to serve the big fat average of the market to gain market share through efficiency and scale. Look and consider that box in the middle of the bell-shaped curve. We can say that normal people are inside this box, and the majority of the people is inside this box in 1955. Not surprisingly, this curve is called the normal distribution. It's incredibly common in almost any phenomenon. You look at internet usage, miles commuted to work, length of hair. And something surprising is happening, though. The defenders of mass and normalcy and compliance are discovering that many of the bell curves that describe our behavior are spreading out. So, according to Seth Godin, in 1975, distribution of behaviors was spreading. Okay, and see now the blue area in the figure. There are more people outside of that central box. Okay. So, according to Seth Godin, by 2010, the distribution of behaviors had spread to the point where there was more weird outside the box than normal people inside it. So now, as the curve spreads, the geeks are even geekier. They don't want the new thing, they want the better version. They don't want the thing that's new, they want the thing that's so new that the other geeks don't even know about it. And the geek with an eye for denim might be specializing. Denim isn't enough. It has to be salvage denim, or even better, salvage denim from Japan. So, if one organization tries to cater to the normal, you will disappoint the weird. And as the world gets weirder, that's a dumb strategy. Seth Godin uses a powerful metaphor. We don't want to be treated as plankton. We don't want to be treated as an homogeneous mass of atoms. We want to be treated as individuals. Another way of visually describing markets is to compare them to a tridimensional competitive landscape. The economic paradigm of the 20th century could be represented by a landscape with only one peak. All competitors fought to climb the same unique peak. The higher they climbed, the higher were the returns, the margins, the profits. Leaving the economic model of the 20th century, based on efficiency and scale, with ever more and more tribes, has given place to a rugged, competitive landscape, with a lot of peaks, with a lot of opportunities to enjoy economic success by choosing a tribe to serve, a specific group with specific requirements. I like to use the observations of Robert MacArthur for his doctoral dissertation. He was an ecologist, and in 1958 he published an article showing that 5 species of warblers were living in the same trees without without competition among them. Each species looked for food in a different part of the trees. As we can see here, this one was here at the top, this in the middle, this below, this in another part here in the middle, this just in the border of the foliage. So I believe that biology gives important lessons to economy. I believe that we are entering a world where this can happen, or this happens more and more frequently. What happens to organizations that don't choose target customers and still want to serve all kinds of customers? Being stuck in the middle means having no differentiation and having to reduce margins to reduce prices to buy some customers. In 2011, I've discovered this author, Jonathan Burns, this professor. Look into his statement. In a typical company, 30 to 40% of revenues are actually unprofitable, while another fraction of revenues, often more like 20 to 30%, accounts for most of the organization's profitability. I realized that I saw this a lot in the small and medium manufacturing companies that I was working with. Let us make an exercise, let us make an example to show what this means. So, list all of your organization customers and the profit made with each one from the highest to the lowest. Now, you can rearrange the graph by plotting the profits cumulatively, something like this. Then, to improve the communicating power of the graph, let us use a curve instead of the columns. What Jonathan Burns was saying can be illustrated with this graph. If you list all of your organization's customers and the profit made with each one, you can make a percent cumulative profit curve. You start by plotting the highest profit obtained with a customer and plotting the second, third, and so on cumulatively. And the graphic from this slide is an extreme case. The organization with around 50% of customers has around 100% of profit. Then, the organization loses 30% potential profit serving the remaining 50% of customers. That is what happens when there is no strategy, when there is no clarity about who are our target customers. Stop being like Noah's Ark, where everything fit. In 2006, I met a small manufacturing enterprise owner that used an interesting metaphor about what he learned about his business. I realized that my company cannot be a Noah's Ark trying to serve everybody. I realized that I had to let go some products, some markets where we could never be competitive and make a difference. I learned that I had to focus my target customers, my market segments, and align my commercial, purchasing, and production activities with that new reality. So,